guys, it's me, Matrix, here, bringing you VDL Victory Star Season 2 Champions Finals. Yes, and joining me today, it is the ever-present Batista. Say hello.
Hi everyone.
We have been running what we call the Victory Star tournament, which is basically a tournament, a knockout, elimination, whatever you want to call it, style tournament, where we've got 8 of the best players across both VDL VCreate and VDL Searing Shots from the entire seasons we've ran, season 2 till 8 in Sword and Shield. Joining us in as I say, that knockout style bracket. We have got 6 champions and 2 finalists joining us. We have at the start of the bracket there was Hippo, who was, I can't remember which, a Searing Shot champion. We've got Otto, a 2-time VCreate champion. Lucian Flash, who was one of the most recent finalists of the VCreate. Panda, the most recent 2-time champion and current champion of VCreate. Colopsia, the very first VCreate champion. Rex, the first Searing Shop champion. My Guy, the most recent Searing Shop champion. And Squirley, the very first runner-up for Searing Shop. So they've been playing a double elimination bracket over the past, I want to say, maybe 5-6 weeks now. And we've progressed all the way through. We've got the winners final, which was Panda versus Squirrely. Panda versus Squirrely, which was Squirrely took a 2-1 win. And then on the losers bracket side of things, it progressed to the losers final, where Panda took a 2-1 set over Otto and allowed Panda to re-challenge Squirrely here in the grand final of V-Star. Have I missed anything?
Oh, that sounds perfect.
Okay.
And so before we start, because Squirrely is in the winners bracket, they actually have a slight advantage. So you can explain them exactly how that works.
Okay, so up till now, it's been standard best of 3 draft league style, but for this V Star final, grand final, whatever you want to call it, it is a best of 5. And Squarely being in the winners bracket starts up with 1 win on Panda. So Squarely just needs to win 2 more matches in order to gain. To win the title, therefore Panda needs to win a net total of 3 matches. And so yeah, that's where we are up to. Going into this, just to give a bit of a breakdown of what the draft was like. The draft was no tiers. There was a no tier draft. I believe they had maybe 8 Pokemon that they got to pick, just whatever mons they wanted from the draft board. There was a standard snake style draft. And yeah, they've got a team of 8 very powerful Pokemon to choose from. I think it might be 9 actually, 9 powerful Pokemon to choose from. So you're going to see a lot of high-powered teams. And so in this final, we will be seeing a very high-powered team matchup, or at least what you'd expect to be high power. So there won't be many low-tier picks unless the coach themselves deem them worthy enough to support their team. So without further ado, let's just have a look at this matchup right here. So yeah, we're watching it from Squirrely's perspective. So as we can see, before we press play in the video, we'll just have a quick look at the teams of what they brought. There is the Salamence, Azumarill, Meowscarada banded, a Citrus Berry, Crocodile, I can't think of what its name is for the life of me right now, Skeledirge, Pawmot, and Morgrem. And as I say, like you can see, most of these are like tier 1, tier 2 type mons. This is just to point out, this is Series 1 rules, so there are no Paradox Mons and there are no beads of any of the ruins, or restricted legendaries. So yeah, this is just Series 1 standard. So yeah, as you can see, he's got a Morgrem who would be considered like tier 3 usually, so they were still free to pick some of the low tier picks if they felt like it supported the team enough. And as you see, Panda has got Hariyama, Pelipper, Gardevoir, Garchomp, Rotom-Mow, and Salazzle. Now, we don't actually know what the items are on that team because there's no spectator mode, which is a real shame. It'd be really nice to be able to see this really blind, not seeing the moves and everything, but that's not possible. Have I covered everything?
Yeah, I think we can We can start unless we want to talk a little bit about the matchup right now, just from the 6BC and both sides.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Take it away. Well, we've got about a minute or so for them to go, so I'm just going to start the selection process, the video.
So right now, just looking at the team, I do like that Squirrely has a lot of damage reduction with the Intimidate and the Light Screen with Light Clay on the Morgrim, and I definitely think that with a couple of their frail Pokemons, either having 4 times weakness or being fairly frail, this I definitely like some aspects of Squirrely's team, and as we can see, they kind of immediately realize that damage reduction seems really relevant. So, what are your thoughts when you look at this matchup?
Um, I find that it's very strong, as you say. Like Squirrely's got some really strong offensive pressure in like the forms of Zumarill Meowscarada, a really bulky offense in like the Crocodile, some really good support pieces in Pawmot. And then you've got from Panda's side a physical mon that doesn't really care about being burnt, Pelipper for decent trick room, but also hurricanes and water stabs into the Crocodile, which is really nice to hit. Garchomp, which can work really well with like Disquake mode with the Rotom and Telepathy Gardevoir, and Rotom is even able to hit Thunders and stuff in the rain. And their support of choice is the Salazzle, which I think is actually a really good support in a rain-esque mode. So I don't
Oh
know
yeah,
who's initially got the matchup here, but
Oh yeah, definitely see some strengths. This is definitely one of those interesting like mind games matches because it's a rematch. So I'm sure there's some intense level like layers of like identifying what they did last time and trying to make adjustments.
okay, so we see the Salazzle and Gardevoir being led by Panda, and the quite supportive leads on both sides. And the Gardevoir traces huge power. That's kind of funny.
But yeah, definitely a lucky hit because Prankster Gardevoir would be really scary. However, Salazzle threatening fake out on both of these, having guaranteed faster fake out is definitely pretty annoying.
Yeah, and even saying that, like Salazzle's got some offensive pressure here as well. Like Sludge Bomb hitting both of these 2 mons for super effective damage. Although Azumarill has that Aqua Jet priority into the Salazzle, so like the Salazzle doesn't really want to be hit by a fake out and an Aqua Jet if it goes for the offensive move.
Yeah, one of the big things I guess we didn't really mention is about their knowledge of the Terra types. And so, as we saw, Morgrum's Terra Ghost means that they might be a little bit hesitant to fake out into that Morgrum spot.
Which is
As we
exactly what
see,
we've seen
they
here.
yeah.
Yeah, so we under open terror rules, which open terror sheet rules. So each side is aware of the terror types that the opponent has brought going up here. So yeah, we see that taunt go off as well, which is pretty cool.
So, funnily, Gardevoir not tracing Prankster was a big deal because if it had Prankster, it wouldn't be able to taunt the Morgrum there. So it actually got a little. It actually was lucky, despite it seeming like it would have been bad luck to prank or to trace the useless ability.
Yeah, but on saying that, like you could have gone for a fake out into the more a lot more safer there. Like you could have gone for a fake out, you could have gone for the taunt, and you would have got something off there. So we do see the Sludge Bomb coming out from the Salazzle and the Azumarill going for the Protect, trying to keep itself a little bit more healthy. Just a standard Dazzling Gleam coming out from the Gardevoir. It's not going to be doing too much now with the light screen up on the board, which is still not that much damage there. And a nice foul play. That's actually high damage considering Salazzle's not really got the highest attack stat.
Because it's like Slash is really frail. Like in all honesty, it's okay. It's special buff, but its physical buff is pretty reasonable, not bad. And its attack is honestly not terrible. However, I do think it's probably in range of an Aqua Jet now, which definitely makes it a little bit awkward for Panda.
And Squirrely predicting the switch out there, he could have easily gone for the Aqua Jets, but thinking he's not going to let his Salazzle just go down here, he has opted to attack the Gardevoir instead with this liquidation, and Panda bringing out the Rotom here. Gets a bit of a free switch, but is it going to be a lot of damage here into this Gardevoir now?
Looks like I'm almost killing it. Yeah.
Really nice read from Squirrely, and a really good repositioning of the Crocodile versus the Rotom here.
Yeah, I don't know the Terra types of them, but yeah, Skeletors looks very good offensively to both these Pokemon, especially since Aqua Jet might be able to kill Gardevoir from this range. Definitely looks like a roll to me.
We do see that the Crocodile is just Terra Ghost, opting for the more offensive pressure from Light Shadow Balls after going for some Torch Song boosts, and Pawmot is Terra Steel. We have got that really cool move, Revival Blessing, on the ball, on the Pawmot being brought, so it'll be really cool to see if that gets some use during this 5 game set.
So yeah, so I understand their decision to switch out the Azumarill. Pretty much the best they could just do is try to kill Gardevoir with a Shadows or with an Aqua Jet, and then it would probably have died. However, they decided to go for a very defensive play with the double protect, which doesn't look like it's going to work out because they got a free switch into Palma that now threatens to fake out both of these Pokemon.
Very true, and that was clearly just a scout to see what exactly he was going to be, what Squirrely would be wanting to do here. However, Squirrely taking advantage of the double protects, getting the free switch in, and is now able to pressure the Gardevoir for a KO there and a Torch Song, nasty Torch Song into the Rotom.
So yeah, the switch out here makes a lot of sense. So I'm expecting, as we see, this Lazzle, which should be able to take the Torch Song very comfortably. However, this Thunder Punch is going to get a kill.
Yes, but even with taking this Torch Song the I want to say Crocodile, it's still decent damage on the Mon, and it's getting a nice free special attack boost here.
Yeah, and though Salazzle is annoying, it honestly doesn't have the greatest damage into Skeledirge and can't fake it out either here.
Yeah. It's possible that he was wanting to cycle the fake out pressure. The Garchomp obviously coming in here threatens an Earthquake with a Rotom switching, but Pawmot's being Sash is still Sash is still intact here. However, you got to be careful that Salazar will just go for a fake out into the Pawmot, and the Garchomp just going for maybe a Terra type or just going for Terra Rock Slides. We don't know what this is running here. The Ice Punch is
Well,
a
yeah,
really nice spring though.
yeah, Ice Punch is going to be really good damage if they don't Terra here. However,
Obvious.
one thing that
Sorry.
I was going to say, one thing that's annoying is Rough Skin breaks the Sash, so it doesn't actually have a Sash, even though it looks like it does.
Yes, and the protect here from the Garchomp as a double up and an encore into the Torch Song.
Which ends up, or I don't know how it works with targeting, but they clicked Torch Song previously, so
Yeah.
Oh, sad day. They didn't hit the same target. I'm not sure how Encore works with
Encore just
whether
relocks your move.
auto.
It doesn't
Well, yeah, but whether it
lock the target.
doesn't change targeting.
No.
Okay.
So they're locked into the Torch Song, which is obviously not the best when you want to be slack offing or protecting. So like here, it's pretty free for the Garchomp to Terra out. We don't know what the Terra types are, but you can see that the Garchomp could go for an Earthquake with a Rotom switching in with its Levitate as a partner.
Yeah, it looks like they're making that read by going for a Terra Ghost and a Torch Song into that and going for the double up.
Yes, as you say, the Ice Punch will break its Sash here as well after the Rough Skin.
Unsurprisingly that they Terra here, but Terra Poison's definitely cool and definitely not the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah, but this should be 2 neutral attacks coming into this Garchomp. So now he removes that 4 times weakness, but he also removes that resistance to Torch Song.
Yeah, I think Panda might have been expecting a switch out in Skeletors there. Especially with that Sludge Bomb doing almost nothing because it's resisted.
You see the Ice Punch. That's decent damage. I don't think a +1 Torch Song is going to quite be enough to pick up a KO here. And it's actually running Stop the Tantrum, maybe Earthquake as well. Does pick up the KO on the Pawmot after the Pawmot has broken its Sash with the Rough Skin.
Yeah, but this Torch Song, even though it doesn't kill, it's probably going to bring it down to like 10%.
Not even that. Like 2, 4.
Yeah. And so so definitely they have a lot of pretty low HP Pokemon in the back. I think everything except for that Rotom is in range of Aqua Jet right now.
Exactly. This Azumarill is actually in a pretty good position here to be able to just Aqua Jet kill things. I suspect the Garchomp is running Poison Jab for the Azumarill, hence the Terra Poison. Also being able to resist Play Roughs from the Azumarill.
Yeah, one thing that's big though is if this Skeletorge wasn't poison, I think this game would be incredibly in favor of Squirrely. But because of this poison, I definitely see outs for Panda just being able to get into the position where Skeletorge can't kill the Rotom because it's too low of HP and just dies to a single Thunderbolt or something.
Mm-hmm. And here Squirrely has to make the prediction, like, does he go for the KO of the Garchomp, or is he going to protect and risk taking some damage on the Azumarill? We don't see a protect come out, which means Salazzle does go down. I would imagine Panda went for a double up into the Azumarill slot here. Oh no. We see a Stomp attack.
I think that was the correct play on their side because they have Rotom in the back, and I don't think they're particularly scared of the Azumarill or the Morgrim in the back. So I think Panda definitely did the right call of trying to kill this Skeletorge because if it dies, the Rotom can probably 2v1 in the back.
True. But now we've got a +2. Is it +2 or +3 now on the Skeletorge? I think it's +3 the Skeletorge.
Yeah, I think it's at +3 now. But yeah, definitely going to be a hard for them. I think if Rotom has Discharge, there's definitely an out. But if they do not have Discharge, I don't see a way they win this. But assuming they do, they might be able to kill the Skeletorge and even kill the Azumarill, or at least get it very low here with a Discharge here.
Yeah, not being able to have the Morgrim on the field already. No, there's no Discharge. It's just a Thunderbolt. I don't think the crit mattered there. Might have. Depends on how bulky or how offensive this Rotom is.
Yeah, definitely a lot of factors on whether or not that would have killed. But as we can see, another playoff might kill, even with the Citrus Berry. It seems like pretty close with Citrus Berry.
And if this Rotom is running Protect, which I don't think we've seen, or have we?
I don't think we've seen Protect yet. If it doesn't have Protect, then Fake Out, Play Rough is just pretty much a game over. If they do have Protect, then it's basically depends on whether Thunderbolt kills Azumarill through Light Screen, and I don't think that's going to be the case.
Light Screen has gone down.
Well, yes, but they can
I
set
see
it up.
What you mean. Yeah, setting the Light Screen the following turn, and it all comes down to whether the Azumarill actually hits the Play Rough.
That too.
This is an interesting play. Going for the Light Screen here. Fair enough. On the Protect makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so them going for the Light Screen definitely made this game very much in their favor now, because even if Azumarill does die to a Light Screen, 2 Foul Blaze might kill Rotom from this range. There's definitely a chance, and if that's the case, I imagine Morgrim can take the Thunderbolt with Light Screen up.
Let's see. Does Play Rough miss?
I would go for Liquidation here, 100%.
We see the Leaf Soul come out, killing the Azumarill. But with that special attack drop on the Rotom now, I don't know if that's able to break through on Morgrim.
Yeah, we'll see how much this Foul Play does.
Foul Play does.
Ooh.
That could be a.
I don't know, maybe.
That could be a 4-hit.
Yeah, this is definitely close.
Try to waste out the Light Screen turns here.
Yeah, so this is definitely going to be a very close ending game. I do not know these damage calcs on the top of my head, especially at -2 and Light Screen up. I think I'm going to give the edge to Morgrim, but it is close.
Going for the Will-O-Wisp, but misses. If that Will-O-Wisp hits, then I can see this. That Will-O-Wisp would hit. I think Rotom had it.
I agree. I think that Will-O-Wisp would have won them the game.
Will-O-Miss, more like. Ooh, this is a slog. This is only game 1 of a possible 5-game set.
Oh yeah, definitely going to be an interesting set. So far, this been no biter.
And this Morgram obviously isn't Eviolite, it's light clay. So these light screen turns are going to take a while.
So they get the Will List this time. Let's see if this reduces enough damage to give it an extra turn from these foul plays.
I do.
Well, it looks like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like
third chip as well.
I think Rotom's gonna get there. I think this is crazy endgame.
Because it's going to have to be a turn that the Morgan has to go for a light screen in order to live. We're down to what? One more turn of light screen.
Yes, I believe this upcoming one's the last turn of light screen, and I don't think it takes a Thunderbolt and in 2 turns of burn. So I think just if they don't crit here, I think we're gonna win with the Rotom.
Oh, you're right. I think the Rotom's got it.
Yeah, so it looks like it should be game over. So even though they're not going to die to this, the burn is going to be in range of this Thunderbolt, which is a 100% accurate move. This is a crazy end game. I 100%
went for the
not
light screen.
expect.
This made a lot of sense going for the light screen on this turn here.
So this is a crazy end game. This was kind of back and forth. I had no idea what was going to happen, but I definitely think that one is going to go
down to whether the Thunderbolt does less than 21 or not.
I don't think it does. I think it has to fail.
It does. Does more. Yeah, it does enough. Gets the KO. Ooh, what a tight game one.
So that was definitely a really interesting game. So any thoughts on adjustments from either side?
Honestly, for the adjustments, I'm not 100% sure, but I do recall if the Azumarill had gone for an Aqua Jet in that before it died to the Leaf Storm, I think the Morgan would have edged it out. As far as adjustments go, it's been so long since we saw the first half of that match.
I don't know. So I definitely think that maybe Salamence seems like helpful on this side, or even Meowscarada. I think something to deal with a little bit cleaner defensively seems helpful. In addition, Meowscarada, I think, is also not in the worst position to most of the team outside of the Salazzle. So I definitely think Meowscarada seems like a reasonable adjustment on their side. I'm not sure if there's much adjustment I'd want on Panda's side. I don't think Hariyama seems super useful. And I don't think the Pelipper seems that particularly good. I think it depends on if the Pelipper is maybe Scarf, maybe would be a good adjustment. Reading into one of these adjustments on their side. Like Scarf Hurricane, Scarf, Hydro Pumps definitely threaten a lot of these Pokemon.
Honestly, I've got no idea what to do, where to go from here. I think myself, I don't know if I'd rely on the Morgram as much. Maybe I'd lead Palmot. And they led the Gardevoir in the last game with the Salazzle. I don't see the Panda really diverging from that too much.
Yeah, I think Salazzle just seems like a very safe lead on their side, so I wouldn't be surprised to just see that, especially since I think they rebuild almost all their items, so they are I think they pretty much know that they're not Cobra Cloak.
As I say, you see the exact same name from Panda, and a slight mix-up on leads here. Oh, we get Pranks of Gardevoir, which means it can't go for the taunt play now into the Morgan. However, he is more free to go for a fake out as the Salazzle and taunt the Morgan covering for the Ghost Terror, but I don't think you're going to do that here.
I imagine there's going to go for fake out Shadow Ball into the Gardevoir slot. Both of them, this is what it looks like. Yeah, Salazzle faking out either of these is pretty annoying. I think also just going for Sludge Bomb, reading that they're going to fake out the Gardevoir, protect Sludge Bomb into the Morgram's also a really good play here.
I can see a torch trying to try and break the Salazzle's sash, but this makes good sense as well.
No fake out of Salazzle and a Sludge Bomb.
Ooh, but it lives.
Thing that is, but not after.
the Gardevoir reveals its Cobalt Cloak after that fake out, not flinching it.
Actually, yeah, this is a really good turn on them. Let's see how much the Shadow Ball's going to do though.
Not enough.
Okay. It's in range of that Aqua Jet, but definitely a very good turn for Panda with that read that they were going to go for a fake out and getting the kill on it. So now they have no screens this entire game, which was definitely a big component of their gameplay in last match.
I'm forced to go for the protect here and force on this Lazzle possibly to break any potential sash. Yeah, whilst getting a special attack boost. Just so the Aqua Jet can kill the following turn. Goes for the tournament into the Scarpage, which I think is still important because you're not able to go for the recovery moves in the later game or mid game.
Let's see.
Wow.
That did.
That's
correct. Yeah. Because we saw the damage last time. I'm like, that was a lot more than it did last time.
Yeah.
So yeah, both of these are in range of either of these attacks. Aqua Jet should kill both. Shadow Ball or Strong Kick should kill both.
There is a possibility for Squirley to make a read here that Rotom switches in again like he did last game. But yeah, there wasn't much punishment for doubling up into that Salsa slot.
So they did make that read that Rotom was going to switch in here by doing the double up into that spot. So I like that play. I think it was a good way to play around it. Man, that second did a lot of damage.
Yeah, honestly.
So definitely made me think that Torch on probably kills and then
you're getting this croc, I keep saying Crocalore, it's not. Skeledirge up to +2 special attack. We have the double knockout. Not always the best case scenario though, like sometimes you don't want that double knockout. And give your opponent the double switch in, because it could be just Rotom Garchomp in the back here. Which is exactly what we see. Both of which are faster naturally than these two mons on the field, and both are pressured by the Disquake mode that is here. I know it's got Thunderbolt and Stomping Tantrum, but definitely a difficult position to be in.
So yeah, I agree. Like, and Aqua Jet doesn't really threaten either of these particularly well. So you kind of have to either try to hope to survive like an attack and just go for a double attack here, try to read that they're going to double into one of these, or we do see that Terra Dragon is a smart one. That means Rotom basically can't hit a Zoom outside of Will-O-Wisp.
I would have personally gone for a liquidation into the Garchomp, reading Terra Poison.
We'll see.
But it seems to be that they're not even going for the Terra Poison here.
Oh. I definitely am surprised they decided not to go for a Terra there. It would make sense to do it.
If that Dragon
like
Zoom Rail, that would be so crazy.
I definitely thought that was going for it.
Yeah, they just double up into the Croc, expecting a protect from the Zoom Rail on that turn. Play Rough just straight up killing the Garchomp is huge.
This is definitely why they needed to Terra. I think if they would have Terra there, the game would have been still pretty close. But now this game looks pretty much over. 2v1 with.
The Rotom is forced to go for a Will-O-Wisp into the Azumarill here, but the Azumarill is Lumberry, so it's not going to be worried about it. And then obviously the fake out from the Pawmot. Precious for the first turn.
The only way they can threaten the Azumarill here is that they have a Terra Fairy, basically, maybe Terra Ice. And a Terra Blast, but other than that, like Azumarill got Shadow Ball, Electric, and Grass moves. None of those are going to hit Azumarill particularly well.
Yeah, and the Pawmot's pretty free to possibly just leave the Rotom and just go for a Revival Blessing, just get one of your other mons in, just to secure the end game. But we just see an Ice Punch coming out here.
With Focus Sash, I think it's pretty safe to just go for an attack this turn, because next turn you can Revival Blessing since you outspeed Rotom.
That's true. It is just Terra Electric, which obviously Rotom Terra Electric is really good. It has your ability, it eliminates all your weaknesses whilst maximising your damage. And we get the freeze. Just to add insult to injury here.
Curious on what that damage count could have been if they Thunderbolt, but as we can see, definitely not looking good for them now with the to get their Citrus Berry activated. I think they take a another Ice Punch, but they definitely don't take an Ice Punch and an Aqua Jet.
Correct. This does. Oh, the Aqua Jet doesn't quite take him out though. So we do see game 2 being won by Squirley, and as Squirley has already got that 1 game advantage, we do see them go up 2-1 to Panda's Panda. Panda now having to win 2 matches on back to back in order to take the game to take the set.
Squirley just needs
one more win.
Exactly, definitely an interesting. I think the big thing I think this game we kind of had was that them bringing 2 really, not particularly bulky Pokemon definitely punished them, and they were able, on Squirrely's side with the Salazzle and the Gardevoir, they kind of just got into this awkward position where they got double knocked out, and then the not tearing the Garchomp was another thing that ended up hurting them.
Yeah. You tear the Garchomp there, you probably get another turn to attack. Maybe or forces the mind game of where's the Pawmat attacking, so not Pawmat, the other one which was on the field at the time.
I don't know. I think the Garchomp Terra Poison takes maybe 25% of that play rough, and then I definitely think they might have been able to get out of that game with the Terra Poison that turn that died. So any thoughts on the changes on either side?
I feel like they can't just both keep going. It's great. Panda can't just go for that same lead anymore, like the Gardevoir and the Salazzle. Like, I feel like he's going to have to try and change it up a little bit. We've just seen the lead go. I think the Salazzle's pretty fine to stay on lead. It was a very good turn 1. Maybe Gardevoir should be something else. I know it's got the Covert Cloak, which is nice for the Morgrem, but he needs to be able to deal with not only the Azumarill but mainly the Crocodile. Like he's not really got that damage output into it unless he leads the Garchomp. But obviously with the opponent been leading Azumarill and then having Ice Punch on the Pawmat, you don't want to be going for the Terra Poison straight off the back just so you can survive those type of attacks. So I kind of feel like Azumarill has, not Azumarill, Pelipper has a place here. The problem is obviously Pawmat threatening it with the electric coverage.
I think the other issue is how Azumarill's been doing so well. Giving it rain seems really risky. I like Salamence coming in this game. I'm hoping that they on the Panda side that leads something like Salazzle Garchomp. I think that's probably going to be their best lead.
A Salazzle Garchomp here would be really good into what Squirrely's actually brought up. Pelipper and Rotom.
Definitely good to see what this Pelipper is going to do here. This setting up the rain, like I said, is a little bit concerning with the roll in the back. However, they do have 2 Pokemon that resist water right now, so they don't really get punished on their side. The Croc, Skeletor gets really threatened by this water move. Even if it tears, the rain boosted Hydro Pump probably still does massive damage, if not kill it.
Do you see a fake out coming out here into the Rotom slot, which is kind of interesting. And swapping in the Salamence, which these Pelipper freaks just set up a free tailwind here. If it's running like a Sash then, not a Scarf.
I think they might just be trying to predict a water move into the Skeletor spot, but Salamence is going to take a lot of damage from a water move into that spot.
Instead, the Icy Wind on the Salamence switching, which is just as effective at lowering the speed. The Panda side now actually have the speed advantage, and with the Pelipper going for that Icy Wind before the Rotom got to move, I think it could be Scarf.
There's definitely, the Rotom's pretty bulky, so I'm not 100% sure. However, it's definitely shit on speed, even if it's not Scarf here.
Pelipper's max speed is what, 128? Rotom's average speed is 105, so 106. Sorry.
But that Salamence switcher is very punished. And ooh, in the Zumo, which I don't know if I
have the double swap out, which means the Icy Wind. I suspect that Squirley's thinking the same thing. It is possibly Scarf Pelipper here. So this free switching, because these two mons are going to be moving last most of the time anyway.
So we'll see what they do with the Rotom, and I'm expecting.
Oh,
yeah, that was
Leaf Storm into the predicted switch.
I think that was just the right play, even without the switch, because you want to play around Volt Absorb. So I was going to say I didn't like the order they switched in. I thought that Croc should have been in the other spot because I was expecting a Leaf Storm into that spot. And that was the case, but they just got very lucky they missed that Leaf Storm because that would have one-shot the Zumo probably.
Yes. And then going for the Terra Dragon here. Trying to make that defensive play straight out the back just in case of the Rotom hitting those Leaf Storms. Yeah, the Pelipper switch in there guarantees that the Pelipper is Choice Scarf.
But even the Terra Dragon is a little bit funny here because if they kept the Pelipper in, that would have been a pretty reasonable damage to it because it would have been super effective instead of resisted.
Icy Wind, yeah. We just see a protect. I think this was a double as well.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's gonna kill. This is gonna be a very clean switch in here.
Oh no, Play Rough went into the Salazzle slot. Still good though. Salazzle does doubly resist Fairy, so. However, Salazzle no longer has a Sash intact if it's running it, and a an Aqua Jet will just destroy it.
Yeah, this is definitely awkward for Salazzle, and why I see an argument to not bring it because this Zumo just kind of kills it if it's not had the Sash up.
I do suspect a Will-O-Wisp to come out here into the from the Rotom into the Zumo, because the Lumberry is yet to be revealed, and that's all the Rotom can do here.
Yeah, or just a fake out into that spot and then attack into the House Element spot. Ooh, but they expected the protect and went through the damage into it.
Very nice. Actually, probably doubled up into that slot.
Yeah, definitely a smart read there. Got a kill. However, like I said earlier, this rain boosted Aqua Jets from this Zumo and liquidation in the rain is going to do massive damage even to a Pokemon that resists water moves.
Yeah, you're right. And I can see Pelipper swapping in here, however, just to take that water move, and we do see the Revival Blessing coming off.
Yeah, this Revival Blessing is definitely going to be helpful, just making this game, making this game looking kind of in favor of Squirrely, or at least making it kind of more evenly up.
I feel like Squirrely at the moment has that advantage as well, with the Azumarill on the field and Panda not having the knowledge of the Lumberry on the Azumarill, meaning he's going to be thinking at some point his best option is just to burn the Azumarill. Pelipper does take the Aqua Jet pretty well.
Yeah, another thing about Squirrely's position is pretty much other than Garchomp, I don't think they have a great way to hit Terra Dragon Azumarill.
Which I imagine the Garchomp is running Dragon Claw. I just say here comes the Will-O-Wisp, but what he doesn't know is that this Azumarill is running Lumberry.
Yeah, definitely understand and respect that play on Panda side, but definitely good prep bringing that Lumberry, expecting this exact situation from Squirrely's side.
And getting that Pelipper in just before the rain finished, I think was actually really advantageous to Panda. Not allowing the Azumarill to just get those huge Aqua Jets off. Yeah. However, it does open up the doors for the Skeledirge to come in with non-nerfed fire moves. Predicting another Will-O-Wisp here, so this is actually a pretty good switch. Yeah, I'm curious on where this Pelipper attacks, because I wouldn't be surprised if... Okay, I was going to say if it went for like a Hurricane into the Palm Out spot, but just went for the Icy Wind, giving a little bit of chip damage and speed control. Leaf Storm coming out here, gets the KO on the Palm Out. really good turn, able to protect his Pelipper from being punished by any Thunder Punches.
Yeah, and they kind of have to bring back out a Azumarill because I think this Salamence just dies to the Icy Wind if they bring it out.
This is true. The Azumarill's Lumberry is now gone, so I can imagine there being a Protect coming out here from the Azumarill while allow the Rotom to get hit by a Torch Song. But they're maybe predicting the Torch Song? Maybe they're predicting the switches, sorry. For a Protect. Pelipper switches out. Shadow Ball going into that slot, catching the Salazzle and switching. Rotom protects, which is what I expected that to happen there. Will this be enough? And it is. It is enough.
Yeah, Squirrel's just slowly whittling down Panda's team. We'll see if Panda has a way to get through this.
Is though in the back. Or do we? No, we still don't know what Panda's got in the back. I would say it's Garchomp, but
yeah, I was gonna say I don't think Skeletors has revealed Protect yet, so I'm expecting just a Water move into the Skeletor spot, and this might get really punished by the Protect here.
Equally, so we could just go for a Hurricane into the Azumarill, but no, you're right. Hydro Pump straight into the Protect. We expect the Will-O-Wisp from this Rotom here. And it misses the Azumarill.
A huge
but then
miss.
Play Rough also misses.
Oh my, okay. So yeah, that Will-O-Wisp miss and Play Rough miss were both huge. Both of those
I believe though that this is a net gain for Panda because of the Protector didn't provide. He went for the Protector, try and remove the Pelipper type thing on that turn. Now the Skeletor is exposed, unable to go for a second Protect hit without risking a play. You could go for a recover, trying to get some HP back, but I don't think it's going to survive a Hydro Pump hit.
Yeah, and I don't think they're switching either, so I think it's a pretty free kill. And if they can,
and the Hydro Pump misses also.
Oh my gosh, such a big miss.
This time a Thunderbolt into the Crocodile instead of any type of Will-O-Wisp play. A Play Rough hits, doesn't kill the Pelipper, but the Shadow Ball will finish it off.
Yeah,
now this Rotom is stuck on the field with a -2 special attack as well.
That was a huge miss on that
Hydro Pump.
Hydro Pump.
Garchomp is the last one, is brought in.
Okay.
Now
Garchomp does threaten.
He is pretty free to go for a Dragon Claw into the Azumarill or anti-Terra Poison, which is what I expect Garchomp to be doing.
And yeah. So Panda not saving their Terra this late is definitely a big deal. Enable Terra Poison. I don't think they have really anything that hits Terra Poison super effective left. And so now it's just hopefully the Garchomp being bulky enough to sink these hits and just doing some good damage.
Now you gotta wonder, does Panda predict the Protect off the Azumarill? He's been very protective of the Azumarill this game, Squirley.
I think it's reasonable to go for a Will-O-Wisp.
Yeah, he did predict the Azumarill to Protect. Didn't actually expect the double Protect, however, and go for the Wisp, which I think I agree with. I think that's the correct play to make. Wisping the Azumarill, removing it as being a major threat into the Garchomp, and just going for the Earth Power, the Stomping Tantrum into the Salamence, into the Croc. But now, obviously, having that knowledge, he's able to go for a free switch in. I would imagine the Garchomp is Clear Amulet, so I don't know if this Intimidate's going to do anything.
Yeah, I'm unsure on this damage calc of how much a Dragon Claw is going to do to the Azumarill. I'm very curious on that damage calc.
Might be just better off, yeah, it is Clear Amulet. It is better off just going for the double up here, I think, with the Rotom, just get some extra chip damage on it. But no, Panda gets punished by the Stomping Tantrum. The Will-O-Wisp finally connects with the Azumarill.
However, even though it does Will-O-Wisp does connect, this liquidation is rain boosting. This is gonna do pretty good damage.
Lot, yeah. That did a lot of damage. Almost better. Not what was the word. More worth getting an attack off into the Azumarill there, I think. But we see a special Salmons.
Yeah, so
just gonna go straight for Draco. It looks like Squirley's in a better position.
Yeah, well, I imagine the double kills. However, Garchomp, I think, threatens both of these with kills up this range, and should outspeed both of them, assuming that it's max speed. So I do like Panda's position.
It might be better off for the Garchomp to go for a Protect on this turn if he's running Protect, just to waste out the rain that one last turn. So Azumarill's going to be doing needs more than 2 attacks. Yeah.
And Squirley just read that completely by going for that Tailwind. So now they're going to outspeed that Garchomp. And so even though they do less damage with this liquidation, this Draco is going to be able to go into this Garchomp since it's just protected and they're outspeeding now.
Yeah, and if that previous turn had been differently and the Garchomp had just attacked the Salamence, there is every possibility that Dragon Claw was just going to take it out there before the Salamence could move, and it would have been a really net positive for Panda. But getting that Tailwind up, he's in a position where if he hits his moves, the Draco Meteor does threaten to one-shot the Garchomp, and he could go for an Aqua Jet here to just guarantee that play. However, we do see just a liquid play rough.
Let's see this Draco. Ooh, and it gets there. This is looking good for Squirley, clinching it up here.
I don't see this where it's on bringing it back from here. Nah, I think this is game. This should be the set to Squirley. We'll get there slowly but surely.
Yeah, just heat waves and play left. One of them.
And the battle's cancelled.
Okay. Well, with that, it looks like Squirley gets the win. So, what are your thoughts on the set?
It's weird watching other people play those sort of matches because they make so many different plays to what I personally would do. I thought Squirley was very. He had Panda pressured on multiple turns. Like the Azumarill was always pressuring the Terra Dragon was really good as a defensive means to take those hits from like Rotom. Rotom being electric and grass threatening meant that the Terra Dragon really just made the Rotom useless into it, and the Lumberry as well made Rotom very difficult to position. There was a bit of RNG in the middle of that game 3, which I think if it had gone one way or another, it might have allowed Panda to get a better footing in the game to win out that game and give us a game 4. But I felt like Squirrely almost had a Mon or a mode prepped for nearly every scenario that Panda was presenting him with.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely think I was very impressed with that Terra Dragon Azumarill. It did so much work. And then those Aquadrets on the thing. I definitely think that's one of the big things on my side that I think favored the Camerupts there.
Yeah, I agree.
But overall, there's so many great plays on both sides. They made so many smart reads, and like both of the games, like though were incredibly skilled, there was also like a lot of like variance with like the Will-O-Wisp, the Hydro Pumps, the Play Rough misses, all of them slightly making advantages or disadvantages for each side. Definitely like kind of one of those like unpredictable games because even in all those end games, they kept on having to click on inaccurate moves.
Yeah.
And that game 1 was still crazy. I can't believe that Rotom won that 2v1.
Versus the Morgram. I know it feels like ages ago now since that happened. But no, as you say, just touching back on what you said, I thought it was really, as you say, they were played really smart. There was a lot of hard reads, soft reads, and just good predictions all around. They both played a very protective game. They're both trying to protect their win cons. Basically, whose win con can they protect longer? You know, obviously Panda not wanting to bring Garchomp out too early so it can end game it, but also Panda trying to not Panda, Squirrely trying to avoid the Azumarill from going down too early, because obviously Azumarill was always hitting the field earlier as well. There's a lot of really smart protects, some good repositionings, and neither really were wanting to put on the accelerator. Should I to put another word for another a better way of saying it? Neither really wanted to accelerate into the offense without being in a decent position first. There was a lot of positioning tug of war going on.
But yeah, and I think that kind of ended up kind of what I mentioned at the very beginning of why I think I like Squirrely's team a little bit better in the matchup is I think that the extra bulk and the extra damage reduction on the side of Squirrely was kind of a big factor in the end because a lot of the little frailer Pokemon on Panda's side kind of just got killed by those Aqua Jets and just they didn't have as many free switch-ins.
Yeah, and even with Panda playing that repositioning game, Squirrely was able to get a bit of chip on each switch in and just making it into a position where the Azumarill was able to just get a KO with an Aqua Jet, KO with a Play Rough, just really freeing that Azumarill up, as Azumarill really likes mons to be chipped into the range of where it can hit them with big amounts of damage. I mean, we saw that even though it was burnt, that rain boosted liquidation, which was provided thanks to the opponent's Pelipper, did so much damage to that Garchomp.
Yeah, but definitely a fun match and definitely a pinnacle of skill on both of them. I think they both showed as why they made it as far as they did,
Mm-hmm.
not only with how good their teams are, but just how well they played.
I mean, congratulations to Squirrely, man. I mean, he won. He basically took everything without losing once. He never lost a best of three. And what's amazing is that he was basically seed 8 going into this, taking over the position of a previous champion who declined from the invitation. Squirrely himself not actually is still yet to win a draft league in VDL, just falling short that one season. So taking down all the champions back to back in this Champions Tour, and just proving why he was invited in the first place. To be honest, as why he was like one of the ones we considered.
Definitely.
Proving everyone wrong and managing to take down even Panda himself, which obviously Panda's quite notorious now in a lot of VGC communities. And that's not to take away, Squirrely's a really good VGC player in his own right. He's young, he's been doing all the seniors tours in the UK, and I think he's British, yeah. So yeah, and around. So he's got a lot of active VGC experience, and yeah, he showed just what he's made of. So congratulations to you, Squirrely. Commiserations to Panda.
Yeah. But hopefully, everyone, y'all enjoyed this video. Thank you all for watching.
And until next time, guys, thanks for watching, as you say. Thanks for joining me, Batista, and see you next time.